Hey there, you're probably thinking, wait, this isn't your first Nuzlocke. Well, however, the last one was a few years ago, and I didn't actually complete it and lost the cartridge. I decided to finally play through one for the first time and beat the game. So as the intro plays out, I'll go over the main rules for a Nuzlocke in case you don't know. First, if a Pokemon faints, it's dead, and it can't be used again. Second, you can only catch the first Pokemon you encounter per route. Another rule is the species clause, where if you encounter the Pokemon you already have, you can reroll and get a different Pokemon. Another one is the shiny clause, where if you find a shiny, you can catch it, but you can't shiny hunt for it, is what I do. With that out of the way, let's move on. First, I need my character Carson, and after that, the professor talks about his dementia and forgetting his own grandson's name. After thinking about what to decide for his name, I thought I was going with something funny, like Fart Breath or something, but I decided to go with my old tried and true Tyler, for my older brother, which is what I always do for my rivals. And with that out of the way, it is time to begin the adventure. After trying to leave town, the professor stops me and takes me to get my first Pokemon. Trying to decide which one I'm going to pick, I started with my favorite Pokemon, which was Squirtle for this adventure, instead of Bulbasaur Charmander. So, after picking Squirtle, we got our first partner for this team, the female Squirtle Squirts, which I can't say with a straight face. After that, Tyler chose Bulbasaur, the type advantage, and then with that, we decided to get on with our adventure. But first, Tyler had other plans, so we had to battle him first. Luckily, I was a superior trainer, and his level 5 Bulbasaur was no match for Squirts. After using some tail ups and some tackles, we were able to defeat the Bulbasaur and win the battle. After that, we moved on to Route 1 to move toward Viridian City, where after a drunk man blocked the road, we had to go get Oak's parcel and deliver it to him. After picking up Oak's parcel and then going to deliver it to him, after delivering Oak the parcel, we finally got the Pokédex and 5 Pokeballs to officially start the Nuzlocke. After then picking up the town map from Tyler's sister, we then moved on to catch our first encounter for the Nuzlocke, which was Rattata, which isn't too bad. After throwing a Pokeball, we caught the female Rattata, fodder. Moving to Route 22, it's time to catch our second encounter for the Nuzlocke, a wild monkey.
Monkey, whatever! You're going down, monkey!
After throwing a few Pokeballs, we finally caught the wild monkey.
Monkey, shut the f*** up!
I decided to go back and level up the team before the rapid fight, because we were a little under-leveled. It's time to fight Tyler for the first rival fight of the Nuzlocke. Luckily with Monkey, we were able to take out his Pidgey with a low kick, and with his Bulbasaur after a very close call. Oh god, we almost lost Monkey there. Ooh, that would've been bad. We came out unscathed with no deaths. After then trying to move into Viridian Forest, we're stopped by a drunk old man telling us how to catch Pokemon. Moving on to our next encounter, we finally catch Rattata, so time to reroll. After that, we find Rattata. Finally, we find a wild Pidgey. We add Flyboy to the team. Moving to Viridian Forest, we finally work our way through to Pewter City, where it was time to challenge the gym leader, Brock. After a quick intermission of Squirts destroying this level 10 Geodude and bubbling the competition, it was time to take on Brock. Brock loaded the Geodude, which was no match for Squirts' bubbles, but his Onix was a bit more of a problem. I'm kidding. After like 2 water guns, Onix went down and we won the battle, getting us the first gym badge of the Nuzlocke, the Boulder badge. After beating Brock, we finally got the running shoes, so we stopped moving slow as frick. We then moved on to our next encounter, which was a Nidoran female, and we added Mommy to the team. Let's go. We then moved on to Mount Moon, Zubat Hill, where we encountered the Mafia for the first time. After destroying the Mafia, Squirts evolved into Wartortle. We then encountered a nerd down in the caves who was hoarding fossils. After beating his ass and stealing his lunch money, we were able to take the Helix fossil. After then getting stopped before we could take the Helix fossil. Holy fuck, it's a Zubat! After then taking the almighty Helix fossil, we then moved out of Mount Moon. We then moved to Cerulean City, where we could take on Misty. But first we had a rival fight, so I decided to level up the team a little bit before we took on Tyler for the next time. First, we evolved Flyboy into Pidgeotto. Then we evolved Mommy into Nidorina. And then we evolved Mommy into Nidoqueen with the Moonstone we got in Mount Moon. And then decided it was time to take on Tyler. Luckily, Flyboy was able to take out his Pidgeotto with the Quick Attack. Squirts took out his Abra, who only knew Teleport. I switched in Fodder to take a few attacks. Flyboy was asleep, and living up to her name, she was indeed Fodder, going down to a single Vine Whip. R.I.P. Fodder, you will be missed. Came back into Flyboy, ready to take out his Bulbasaur with a few Gusts. And with that, Tyler was defeated. Defeating Tyler was time to take on Nugget Bridge. To defeat Nugget Bridge, we got the prize of a Nugget, yay! And the offer to join Team Rocket, which for some reason I couldn't accept. And after Team Rocket tried to make me an offer I couldn't refuse, we defeat Team Rocket. It was time to go back and take on Misty. Misty led with her Staryu, who after a big back and forth of healing and using bites to whittle down Staryu, was knocked out. I switched into Flyboy to get rid of the confusion and switched Squirts back in, who after a Swift got severely close to death, so I switched Monkey, who after a scratch knocked out Staryu, ending the fight, giving us the second badge. We then head to Bill's house, where we can get the SSN ticket, but first we have to help him from being stuck as a Pokemon. I think we should have added him to the team, but anyways, we're not allowed to. So after we help him out from being stuck, we then get the SSN ticket, allowing us to get cut and move on with the adventure. Then we check out the house with obvious signs of burglary, finding out a cop can't do his job because the thief is standing behind the house. We then beat Team Rocket, getting us the TM Dig. After the rival fight on the SSN, we had Blunder to kill Eradicate with Monkey, but it hung on and used Hyper Fang to knock out Monkey, leaving us with another fallen comrade. After using Flyboy, because we killed his Eradicate for good, and we move on to get cut from the captain, who was seasick. After getting cut and watching the ship slowly pull away, we move on. I then decided to teach Mommy Dig with the TM we got, so it'll help us out in the next fight against Lieutenant Surge, the electric gym leader. The fucking lightning American, the red light blue warrior himself. To the worst gym puzzle imaginable. Nope. After going through about 1,000 trash cans, resetting multiple times, we finally made our way to Lieutenant Surge, and it was time for the gym fight to begin. Lieutenant Surge led with Vulpix, and I switched out to Mommy and used Dig for the one-hit KO. He then switched into his Pikachu, and with another Dig, Mommy knocked out his Pikachu, and his ace with Raichu. Switched into his Raichu, and after a few quick attacks and a few digs and healing, Mommy was finally get the KO with one final dig, giving us the Thunder Badge. After then moving to the underground path, worked our way towards the rock tunnel to get to Lavender Town. Once we entered the rock tunnel, we then found our next teammate, a wild Geodude, which we named Rocky. After finding multiple wild Zubats and wild Pokemon, I decided to go back and invest into some repels. On the way to Rock Tunnel, got evolved into Weepinbell, and finally made it through Rock Tunnel, reaching Lavender Town. After heading to Lavender Town, we then moved to Celadon City to fight Team Rocket in the game corner. I took a quick break to go get Fly real quick before we went to challenge Team Rocket. But first,
Let's go gambling!
Before I started gambling, I saw a weird man standing in the corner, so I decided to talk to him, which I found out was Team Rocket, who was hiding a poster. After beating his ass and watching him disappear into thin air, I then moved on to flick the weird switch behind the poster. Before that, this girl embezzled me to give her drinks, and then walking on the city, we just found more Team Rocket runs stealing Pokemon. After then heading into the Rocket hideout, it was time to try and take down the Mafia. Before taking on the Rocket hideout, I decided to go catch a wild Vulpix and named her Kushina. And then heading back to the Rocket lair, it was time to take on Team Rocket to get the Self Scope. After then breaking it down, we then moved on to take on Giovanni, Team Rocket's leader. His first Pokemon was Onix, which Squirts took out easily with a Water Gun. The next Pokemon was a Rhyhorn, which Squirts took down easily with a one-hit Water Gun. Then switching into Mommy, we used a series of double kicks and digs to whittle down Kangaskhan health until Giovanni used a potion to bring the health back up. After a series of back and forths with dig and double kick, we were to take down Kangaskhan, defeating Giovanni. And we were able to pick up the self skill. After then going to take on Irritable, we first used Flyboy for the weakness. And using Gust and Wing attacks, we were able to take down Victory Bell. After the Tango ingrained, we used Wing attack twice, knocking it out. Getting to Erica's ace was the tricky part, because now I tried healing up and keeping Flyboy into the weakness, but he got too low and I didn't want to risk it, so I switched out to Mommy. After a back and forth of getting Vileplume low, Erica healed up and it was time to go for it, the long battle of using Dig and Body Slam over and over again to whittle down Vileplume's health. And finally, after one final dig, Vileplume was defeated, giving us the Rainbow Badge. After then moving on, it was time to head back to Lavender Town to take on the Pokemon Tower. It was then time to take on Tyler again, who was moping around after his Pokemon died. After trying to make our Pokemon die, it was time to show him who was boss. He first started with Pidgeotto and I used Rocky for the weakness, and after Rocky missed a rock throw twice, he finally got it, ending the Pidgeotto. His next up was Ivysaur, and after switching to Flyboy, we got the critical hit knockout, killing it in one hit. His next Pokemon was Gyarados, and I tried to switch in Flyboy, but after getting low, I decided to switch out to Squirts to finish him off, and Gyarados killed himself with confusion. The next Pokemon was Growlithe, who after the Intimidate didn't really do much, so I decided to use Water Gun twice, knocking out the Growlithe. His item balloon was Kadabra, and after getting it low, I decided to use Water Gun to get the final hit, and ending the fight. You might be wondering, well, wait, where's his Eradicate? Well, it died, we killed it, it's gone. And it's time to move on to fight the ghost of Pokemon Tower. First, Rocky evolved into Graveler, and then we added Spooky to the team as well. After a little leveling up, Spooky evolved into Haunter, and it was time to take on the ghost. After getting the Self Scope, it revealed the identity of the ghost, showing it to be a Marowak. After getting it low and knocking it out with Water Gun, the spirit of the Marowak was lifted and able to go into the afterlife. Then time to take on Team Rocket, who was holding a man hostage at the top of the tower. After fighting Team Rocket, we were able to save Mr. Fuji, who then gave us the Pokeflute. But first,
Let's go gambling!
I decided to gamble a little bit to get the TM Ice Beam to teach them on. Then finally gambling for hours, we finally got Ice Beam and were able to teach it to Mommy. We then move on to head on the route to tackle the Snorlax who was sleeping in the way. After then playing the Pokeflute to wake him up,
I'm John Cena!
Snorlax attacked us, waking up. After then making it to Saffron City, we were able to take on Team Rocket, who had taken over the Silph Co. After making over the Silph Co. through teleporters over and over again, Geek Garbage allowed us to open the doors that we couldn't open before. After a girl convinced me to take a nap, I decided to go level up my Pokemon for the rival fight. First, we evolved Flyboy into Pidgeot, then we evolved Squirts into Blastoise. Before heading to take the rival fight, I decided to go buy a Leaf Stone from the department store to evolve Throat Goat into Victory Bell. It was then time to take on Tyler. I loaded the Rocky to take out his Pidgeot, but after a quick Rock Blast knocked out his Pidgeot. Fucking missed. He then brought out Venusaur, and I used Flyboy, who fell asleep to a sleep powder. After several turns of sleep, Flyboy woke up and was able to take out the Venusaur. His next Pokemon Gyarados, which I used Dream Eater with Spooky to knock out. His next Pokemon is Alakazam, who with Squirts I used Bite for a critical hit knockout. The next Pokemon was Growlithe, and with Squirts we were able to take him out using Water Gun. To defeat Tyler, it was time to move on to Giovanni. Using the keycard, we opened the door to the meeting room, where he was trying to take over Silph Co, keeping the leader inside. After telling us the kid should not on adult business, it was time to take him out again, and hopefully disband Team Rocket once and for all. He held his Nidorino, and using Rocky, we were able to knock it out with one magnitude. His next Pokemon was Nidoqueen, and using Mommy, we were able to knock it out with a Body Slam. His last Pokemon was Kangaskhan, and using Flyboy, we were able to knock it out, getting a critical hit quick attack. His final Pokemon, Rhyhorn, we knocked out with Mommy, ending the battle, hopefully disbanding Team Rocket, and getting rid of Giovanni. Thankfully, the president thanked us by giving us the Master Ball. Yay! It was time to move on to the next gym. The next gym was Koga, and just finally getting to Koga was time to battle. Started with Coughing and using Rock Blast missed, but finally getting Rock Blast with 5 hits we knocked out Coughing. The next Pokemon was Muck, and after using Magnitude twice, we were able to knock out his Muck. He sent another Coughing, and this time I had to switch out because Rocky was getting loaded when we missed the KO. Using Flyboy, we got Fly twice, knocking out the Coughing. The final Pokemon was Weezing, and after Blunder forgetting that Weezing is Levitate, the dig missed. After using Body Slam multiple times and Ice to get the freeze, we were able to knock out his Weezing after multiple heals. After using multiple Ice Beam Spams, we were finally able to get the knockout, giving us the 5th gym badge. I then headed over to Sabrina to get the next gym badge in the challenge. The gym uses a lot of teleporting platforms, which suck, and after a lot of trial and error, we finally got to Sabrina. Sabrina led with Kadabra, and using Bite with Squirts, we were able to knock it out with just 2 bites. And her next Pokemon was Mr. Mime. After using Bite to slow it down healing, we were able to knock it out with another Bite. So the next Pokemon is Venomoth, and I decided to switch out to Rocky, who with Rock was able to knock it out in 1 hit. The last Pokemon is Alakazam, and after a Magnitude Earthquake, we were able to knock it out in 1 hit, giving us the Marsh badge. After that, it was time to head over to Safari Zone to find the Warden's Teeth. After finding the Warden's Teeth, we were able to get the TM for Surf and head towards Cinnabar Island. After finally reaching Cinnabar Island, it's finally time to take on Blame. After doing a bunch of Pokemon trivia that a 4-year-old could do, it's time to take time to take on Blame. We got with Growlithe, and after using a dig, we were able to knock it out in 1 hit with Mommy. As if from a Ponytail went down to another hit with Dig with Mommy. Using a Dig to get Rapidash low, we then switched and used Body Slam to get the knockout. Blaine's final Pokemon Arcanine switched out to Squirts, and using a couple of Surfs, we were able to knock out Arcanine. Getting us the win in the gym badge. For getting the gym badge, Bill came to us and talking about the Sevi Islands, but we didn't have time for that, so we told him no. It's finally time to head back to Viridian City to take on the 8th gym leader, Giovanni. Here the very one I switched out to Throat Coat with a Vine Whip knocking it in 1 hit. And if it was another Rhyhorn, he went down to in 1 hit. Vine Whip. After using Vine Whip again with Throat Coat, we knocked out his Dugtrio. He then switched into Nidoqueen, using Scorpion to knock it out with a couple Surfs. And finally, his ace Nidoking we knocked out with another Surf, giving us the final gym badge. We were now able to go take on the Pokemon League. But first, we had one final rival fight. I love the Pidgeot, and I also love Pidgeot. Using a bunch of feather dances, I then switched out to Rocky. And with a few rock throws, we lowered down Pidgeot for the knockout. Then with Venusaur, I switched into Flyboy, and then with a little bit of a wing attack spam, we were able to knock out Venusaur. Into a Rhyhorn, I switched to Squirts, and with a Surf, we were knocked out. With Gyarados, I switched in Throat Coat, and with putting it to sleep, I then used Vine Whip for a little bit of a spam to try to lower down its health. Abandoning a critical hit, we were able to knock it out with Vine Whip. His final Pokemon was Alakazam. After eating a lot of my Pokemon, I decided to switch out. But luckily with Flyboy, we knocked it out with a Fly. After knocking out with a Fly, I did tell him misplay because I forgot about the future side attack. And with that, Flyboy was knocked out. His final Pokemon, Growlithe, was knocked out by Rocky. And with that, we beat Tyler for the last time. I was a little bit stuck on who to replace the missing teammate with, and then I got an idea. Kanto Power Plant. Perfect place. Catches Zapdos. An electric flying type was exactly what I needed. And I also decided to replace Spooky with Ninetales, as I felt like I didn't really use Spooky, and with Venusaur, Ninetales was a better counter. So I decided to go ahead to the power plant to catch Zapdos. After working my way through the power plant, it's time to catch Zapdos. After Ultra Ball spam, we were able to finally catch Zapdos. Oh, come on, stay in the fucking ball. Let's go, finally. And after asking my girlfriend to help me with the name, I finally got it, Big Bird. And with that, Big Bird was added to the team. And then it was time to head to the Pokemon League. Before challenging League Play, I decided to go back and gamble for some more TMs. Okay, so I have some bad news. I realized that the Lorelei fight didn't record, and I lost all the footage, so I decided to just really quickly update you on what happened. We lost a team member during the fight, and unfortunately for us, Mommy was knocked out during the fight. The next person to fight was Bruno Mars, the fighting type specialist. With Onyx, and with Squirts, we were able to knock it out with a Surf. I then switched out to Big Bird, and with a couple Drill Pecks, we were to knock out most of his Pokemon. Luckily, I got close, and Big Bird survived the hit, and after switching back into Squirts to knock out the Onyx, Bruno was defeated. Next up was Agatha, the Ghost type specialist. After dunking on Professor Oak, it was time to begin the battle. I hit the little Gengar, and with a critical hit Surf, we were able to knock it out. Next up was Golda, and after switching into Rocky, and with a Rock, we were able to knock it out. My next Pokemon was Arbok, and I decided to heal up and then switch out to Kushina. With a Will-O-Wisp and a Flamethrower, I was able to knock down Arbok. We then had another Gengar, and I decided to switch back into Squirts. And after a little bit of a heal spam and a bite spam, we were able to knock out Gengar. Got knocked out by a Thunderbolt from Big Bird. And with that, I get those defeated. Last up was Lance of the Elite Four, the Dragon type specialist. He lived with Gyarados, and with Big Bird I used Thunderbolt to knock it out. Next up was Aerodactyl, and I switched into Squirts, and with a critical hit Surf, knocked out. Next up was Dragonair, and with another Surf, we started to whittle it down, and I started switching to Big Bird. And after a few Drill Pecks and Thunderbolts, I was knocked out. Next up was another Dragonair, and with the Drill Peck, knocked it out. The last Pokemon was Dragonite, his ace, and with a few Drill Pecks, we got it low. And I got so lucky there with the confusion, and Dragonite killed itself that we almost lost Big Bird. After defeating Lance, it's time for the final fight of the Nuzlocke. The final fight against the champion, Tyler. Tyler loaded the Pidgeot and I loaded the Big Bird, and with the Thunderbolt, it was knocked out in one hit. Next up was his Rhydon, and I switched into Squirts for the type advantage, and his Rock Tomb did little damage. After using his Surf, it was knocked out in one hit. The next up was Venusaur, so I switched into Kushina. And Venusaur started stacking its growth. I started his Will to get the burn on it, to try to help whittle down his health, and then he used Flamethrower. Luckily for me, Flamethrower did over half. Tyler chose to do a Solar Beam, and because it takes an extra turn to use, Kushina got the knockout before any damage was dealt. Next up was Gyarados. I decided to switch back into Big Bird. But after Dragon Rage, just use Thunderbolt for the knockout. 4 Pokemon down, 2 to go. Next up was Alakazam. I decided to switch into Rocky, who barely lived on the Psychic, and decided to switch back out to Squirts. I decided to use protect against the Psychic, and then use Surf to try to whittle down Alakazam's health. Squirts got really low, so I decided to switch out Big Bird. Unfortunately, Big Bird's special defense drop to the Psychic will let it indicate death range, and with that, Big Bird was knocked out. I decided to send out Throat Goat. Unfortunately, he went down to 1 Psychic with a critical hit. I started to panic here because this could be the end of the run. We're running out of options. Over half our party down, and Alakazam was destroying us right now. I decided to use Surf, as Alakazam started to use Reflect to raise up his team. After another bite, Alakazam got low, and Tyler decided to heal again. I decided to heal up real quick as well, as we were low. Alakazam set up another Reflect, and I used Bite, and Tyler healed again. Getting Alakazam low again with Bite, Tyler used another Full Restore. And it's time to whittle down Alakazam again. Luckily, Tyler was out of potions, and now Alakazam was knocked out. And it was time for his final Pokemon, Arcanine. I decided to heal quick before starting to whittle down Arcanine's health, who hit me with an extreme speed. With 3 Surfs left, I decided to use Surf. We got it down to yellow in 1 hit. After getting low, and getting Major Break, extreme speed kill, I decided to heal. Knock out Arcanine with 1 last Surf. And with that, Tyler was defeated, and we completed the Nuzlocke. We did it. Fallen comrades, and now we were the champion. Sounds like we've seen Big Bird, who had fallen, Mommy, who had also fallen, and Throatgoat, who had fallen in the fights to get us the champion. Their sacrifices were not in vain, as we were now the greatest champion in Kanto. Welcome to Hall of Fame, guys. I just want to say thank you guys for watching, and hopefully you all made it this far. This content's a little bit different than what I'm used to making, and this was a year in the making. I just wanted to say thank you so much. I hope you all enjoyed. Please like and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.